Hi, welcome back to Black Coffee and Grits. I'm Lisa. This is my channel about cross stitch and other crafty goodness. So this video is going to be our March recap, and it's going to cover everything that I stitched in the month of March, which was a ton. I got carried away with starts. Yes, I started 8 things. So look forward to progress for 8 starts. And also I did stitch on my big projects, my BAPs that I have going. I did great on those, and I have a couple of finishes for you. The month has been amazing. I got really great news. Will, his heart checked out all a-okay, so mom can relax now. That was wonderful. Spring is here. We had spring break. We went on a trip. I went on a trip. I shouldn't say we, because it wasn't a family trip. It was actually just a mom trip. So this teacher had a getaway and she needed it. And she went with 2 of her quote unquote teacher friends. I guess they're really professors, but even more highly educated than, this little teacher pal that's the homeschool mom. Anyways, though, we had a really great time. And so I'm going to tell you about that. And what else? Oh my gosh, it's baseball season. So that happened. We had opening day. So I had an opening day start. And I don't know, I've been planting flowers and working in the yard. It's actually been really beautiful, like warm weather. The grass is coming in. All the things are blooming, the trees. It's just beautiful. Planted some flowers, like I said, picked up some leaves, did a lot of like cleaning and raking. Got a lovely blister from that. Don't worry, it didn't hold me back from stitching, but I just put a Band-Aid on that thing and kept right on going. But we've been productive, and it's been fun working in the yard. And I put bird seed out, and I've been watching the birds. That's been really awesome. We have a woodpecker that's been coming to the feeder like almost every day, as well as our usuals, the cardinals, the blue jays. I was actually a really big crow out there earlier today. I have a bird bath and bird feeders, and they're actually like right behind where the camera is. So I keep looking out there thinking, what might I see now? But today is actually a really cloudy day. So I've got my light set up. So hopefully we have some good lighting, and I'm ready to jump in and show you some things. I'm going to just talk along the way about what I've been doing this month. And I'll start off with some FFOs, because these were starts and finishes. So I'm proud about that. I got 2 FFOs done, like my goal has always been for each month of the year. So actually, I'll start with the one that I stitched first. And actually, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's almost FFO'd. I cannot find my glue. What in the world have I done with it? I was just gonna glue this piece of felt on the back, and I cannot find it. Tales of a craft room. It's always like crazy, messy, and good. Okay, so this is Spring Quaker. And I have to say, I'm going to give a shout out to Melissa. Thank you so much for your kindness. What you did to stitch along with me on this and honor my grandmother just meant the world to me. And I just want you to know that. It really was encouraging and uplifting, and thank you. So Melissa and I stitched along on this Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches, and we stitched them differently. I'll pop in a picture of hers too, so you can see Melissa's, because she finished it as well, and you can see the differences. So different fabrics, different colors. She went with the more traditional color scheme that was called for. I went wild, per usual, I guess. So what I did was I stitched mine on 32 count color and cotton graveyard mist linen, which is this really soft green. And then I jazzed it up with the Gloriana silks. I actually have them laying right here, so I'll just grab them and show them to you. This is Gloriana Fiesta. So it is like, as you can see, a beautiful mix of orange, pink, and purple variegated floss. And I just let it land kind of where it did. Sometimes I would kind of play around with placement. Other times I just stitched. And it was really a fun stitch. So it went fairly fast. I think I spent about 8 days on this, and it was really super fun, and I love the way it turned out. I bought a fat quarter while we were down on our road trip. We went to the Tinsmith's Wife in Comfort, Texas, Brooke and Michelle and we had a blast. And on the way back, we stopped at 2 quilt shops in Lano. More about that soon too. But this was one of the fat quarters that I picked up because I intended to finish this. We went down on Friday night, spent the night, shopped Friday afternoon, had a great dinner, shopped on Saturday morning, and then went to quilt shops on the way back. And then on Sunday, we had plans to go to the best little retreat center in Texas. So we did that. So I FFO'd this on that Sunday. Felt really good to start off the day with a big finish. We had a lot of fun. Minus the wind. It was crazy windy on that road trip. Poor Michelle. She was riding it out in the back like she had to take Dramamine. It was just so rocking and rolling, you know. It was bad. It was even bad in the front seat. Okay, next start and finish and FFO, which is another Primrose Cottage Stitches piece. I did a lot of Primrose Cottage smalls this month. This is Raindrop Kisses. I actually have the pattern right here, so I'll show it. Raindrop Kisses. And I did do some color conversions on this one as well. I stitched it on Color and Cotton 32 count Aruba Pale, which is this really pretty blue. And then I pulled my own flosses while I was at Color and Cotton that were inspired by Holly Jones. And then as I went, I kind of changed some things up. I did love most of my colors. I think I ended up pulling just an orange from Stash, and I added some black coffee in there, which was not very many stitches of that. But I gotta say, I was stitching along on this, and I don't know, it was cute, but I was like not super excited about it until I stitched those little ducks, and I think they are just precious. So got this FFO'd with some rickrack trim that I also got from Color and Cotton and some scraps of fabric from Stash, and jazzed it up with some pretty pink on pink herringbone fabric on the back. So 2 finishes for the dough bowl, and they're so springy and cute. So I get to leave those out for a while. I'm gonna prop them up so I can look at them while I'm filming here. So those were my FFOs. Michelle and I also took a trip to Peanut Gallery, which is up in Aubrey, Texas. I'm trying to remember when that was. It was back towards the beginning of the month. Maybe second week. It might have been the beginning of her spring break. Goodness gracious. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But we dropped some things off to frame there, and I'm super excited to get those back. So hopefully I'll be getting a call this week from Peanut Gallery for those other 2 pieces that I dropped off. One of them was a Teresa Kogut piece, a springy piece, and the other one was a little Farm Fresh Country Cottage Needleworks piece that I actually stitched twice. So I must have really liked that one. Actually, I framed it and gifted it to my mom, and I loved hers so much that, yeah, I had to stitch it again. Okay, so another start, which I did with Melissa because, like I said, her stitching along with me to honor my grandmother meant so much to me, and she was wanting to stitch this St. Patrick's Day Quaker piece from Primrose Cottage stitches in remembrance of her husband. So she and I started this together. I'll post a picture of hers. She finished hers. Looks amazing, Melissa. And I got a start, but I was very distracted this month, as you will soon see. So I started stitching this on a scrap of just Monaco from Charles Craft. I think this is the one that's called Tea-Dyed, but I'm not 100% sure. And since this was a split last minute decision, I downloaded the PDF and printed it on my printer, and then I just started pulling floss. I did use the chart as a guide. And so I went and pulled some of the color and cotton colors that were called for. Well, I guess I pulled one of them, Tree Lot. And then, oh, I know what I did. Some of the colors are on another ring for another projects. So I also pulled Weeping Willow from Classic Colorworks, and I think I pulled the DMC. I think Marigold. Is that the color that's called for? Yes, Marigold by Color and Cotton. So I pulled that off of another project ring. It's actually sitting here, but anyways, the colors were super pretty. Loved this. It was actually, I think this might have been just 1 or 2 days worth of stitching. So I got that cute little pot of gold in. And then, like I said, I had a lot of squirrel moments this month, so I put it down. But Melissa, I'm going to be thinking about you every time I stitch on this piece and saying a little prayer for your heart, because I know how it helps. So I love that. What else? I did a Lent Stitch. I started a Lent Stitch. This wasn't a squirrel moment. This was actually a planned start. I don't have all the things on the table today. I tried to clear the table off and make a little more room. So I'm going to pop in pictures of these patterns because they are not right in front of me. But this was a planned start, and I did iron-ish most of my projects that are sitting here in front of me. Because I didn't like to starch them up, but I did put an iron over them. Okay, so this is Teresa Kogut's. I'm gonna pop in a picture of the pattern. I think it's called Peacemaker. It also says Works of Heart. This is a piece that I had in stash for quite a while, and decided it was gonna be the perfect Lent stitch. So I'm stitching it on for, actually, I don't know what count this is. I think it is 16 count Aida. I am using 2 strands of floss, 2/2. I'm stitching it on Forbidden Fiberco's Cranberry Crush Aida. Like I said, I'm guessing on the count. It wasn't on the tag, but at any rate, oh my goodness. This has been intimidating, fun. I don't even know. I've had so many emotions stitching this. So I have been putting in roughly, I started out, I was going to just do 1 strand of floss per day. And then I decided, okay, well, I'll do like the full strand. So 3 strands, essentially, if you're doing 2/2. And that worked great while I was doing all this fill in up here around the halo. But then when I got down to I can't believe how realistic this looks. It's like so incredible. And it's really come to life just in the last 2 days when I put in the eyes. So while I was doing the big, obviously swaths of color, it was easy to do that. Well, since then, it's been a little bit more challenging because there's a lot more confetti in it. So I basically just focused on, okay, like I'm going to work on the eye. And so don't hold me to 1 strand a day because I haven't done that exactly. It's hard to do when there's so many mixes of colors, but it's been really fun, and it's been really challenging. And I'll tell you what's been challenging about it is just all the confetti stitching. I have never been someone who stitched a full coverage piece, and essentially this is pretty close to full coverage, with the exception of the space around the angel's wings. Like all of her head and face is full coverage. So it's just been challenging. It's been challenging to read the pattern, to keep my place. I found that using a sticky note was super helpful to help me keep my place and know when I glance away and look back up. Also trying to do like 1 color at a time and somewhat quote unquote color complete, which have also found that to be a challenge as well, just because some of the stitches are so far apart. But it's been fun. It's been fun seeing her come to life. I'm going to show her one more time. Look at those eyes. Now, I know she needs hair badly, but she has a face and she has a halo. And this is about 27 days of stitching. If you're wondering how I'm able to keep up with that, it's not just I did write things down in this lovely calendar. This is a cross stitch planner from Katie, the Naptime Stitcher. And I know we're already well into spring, but if you have interest in this, there is a link to her Etsy shop, and she's given us a discount code for Black Coffee and Grits viewers. So you'll find that in the show notes. And if you need help, just ask. I'll send it to you directly if you can't find that. But I know some people are watching on television, but if you're watching on your tablet or your phone, it's really easy to see the show notes. I know it's a little bit harder to get to if you're watching on your TV, but ask me anything. I'm happy to help. So this lovely planner also includes this cross stitch tracker, which I have been using. And so I just went through and counted up look at all those X's for every day that I stitched on Peacemaker. So I've been able to, I think, keep up with that just a little bit better with this particular planner, and I've really enjoyed it, the organization of it. So the next project that I squirreled on was one with friends. I was enabled. I don't know. I wasn't coerced, really. It didn't take much effort. We wanted to stitch something together. So Michelle Brick and I picked out M. Satterthwaite. I think I'm saying that right. This beautiful Quaker from Shakespeare's Peddler while we were down at the Tinsmith's Wife. And let me just tell you real quickly, the Tinsmith's Wife is an amazing shop. It is down in Comfort, Texas in the Hill Country, worth the drive, minus the wind. If you go in the spring, like right now, you'll be able to see all the blue bonnets and wildflowers in bloom. Actually, I'm tempted to go back down there, but if it weren't for a big trip that's coming up at the end of the month, I probably would scoot on back down there just to see the wildflowers, because I always enjoy that. And when we went down over spring break, there were just a few, but not like they weren't really out like they are now. So the Tinsmith's Wife, I should pop in a quick little slideshow, I guess, of pictures from the shop. I'll do that while I'm chit-chatting about it. But it is a really cute shop, very well organized. The woman who owns it is the sweetest. Her husband is really fun too. They were so helpful. They have shop cats. The layout of the shop is just, it is a treasure trove. Like, there is so much to see. I was amazed with how many patterns they have, a plethora of linens. I love how the store is organized and laid out. Like I said, it's just got that like vintage antique charm from the old shop, and they have it decorated so cute. So there are these like big cabinets and armoires full of linen. Oh my gosh, we literally went back twice. So we shopped again, like I said, on Friday afternoon when we got down there. And then we had to go back on Saturday morning before we left town because we just needed to look some more. So it was the weekend after market, so they did have some of the market release patterns, but mainly we just got distracted in our own ways. And I'll show some of the things that I got in the haul. Super excited about the things that I found. One of which, as I said, was the Shakespeare's Peddler in Satterthwaite, this beautiful Quaker pattern that Michelle and Brooke and I are now stitching along together on. And then, of course, we had to find fabric for it so we could start it right away. So I picked this beautiful piece of Picture This Plus Opal linen in 32 count. And I just think it's so pretty. Like, it's all the things. So if you've been watching me for some time, you know my channel is called Black Coffee and Grits, and that I want to do a black sampler wall. So of course this has to be on the black sampler wall. And so I used Classic Colorworks Black Coffee for my floss on this. I believe there might be one little spot in the pattern that has a second color in it, and I'm going to use grits. So I'm pretty sure that's this pattern. I don't have the pattern in front of me anymore, but so I got this honker of a motif done, and this was nearly a full skein of floss, and it took several days of stitching, but I was so proud to get that completely finished. this last weekend? Well, I was actually sitting and stitching with Michelle at her house. So I think this is a bit bigger piece of, I think I generously cut, like I left big margins on this, but I had to cut this down because it was a fat half, and so it felt like I was stitching with a blanket, but it's still going to be a big project, a really big project. So if I have pictures, I'll also pop in pictures of Michelle and Brooke's projects so you can see how different they look on different fabrics and different colors, and I just love that we can make things our own. Okay, I need a second table. What else did I do? So, okay, so another planned start was God is Good by Teresa Kogut, and it's so funny because I was so intimidated by this pattern, thinking it's so big and it's like almost full coverage, but I did decide to not stitch all the green stitches and instead put this on a green fabric. So this, like I said, was a planned start. I don't think I actually started on the first day of spring, but close to the first day of spring. This is definitely has very springy vibes because of the fabric. Isn't this beautiful? I actually cut it down too. I guess I was in the mood to cut down my fabrics this time. I don't always do that. Sometimes I'm working with a big giant piece for a while. So, oh goodness, do I have this written down? Sorry, it took me a minute to find the name of the fabric, but I wanted to share this. This is Water Spirit, 32 count linen by Seraphim Fabrics. I knew it was Seraphim, but I couldn't remember Water Spirit. But isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. So for the stitching and the floss, I am using all the call for colors. The call for this pattern were Weeks Dye Works flosses, and I didn't switch out the black. I did use the coal, which is the called for Weeks Dye Works floss. Just decided to use what I already had in stash. So anyway, I got the chicken in, the rooster. I guess he's really a rooster. And I was gonna say too, so part of what's really, even though I started a lot of things, helped me feel, I mean, I definitely had squirrel moments, don't get me wrong, but what's helped me feel like I'm getting like a sense of accomplishment is picking a motif and then finishing it. So like on that big Quaker, I finished that one motif and I felt accomplished, and now I have finished the rooster, and this was several days of stitching too, to get the rooster all filled in. And then obviously started on that border. And as you can see, I'm all over the place with where I start. Usually I'm a top left stitcher, but sometimes I wanted to stitch that rooster, so I started down in the bottom left-hand corner. What else was I going to say? I had something else that poofed out the window. Maybe it'll come back to me in a minute. Oh, I was stitching this 2 over 2. And if I don't say that, typically I am stitching 2 over 2. Okay, so another somewhat planned start was this adorable kit from Forbidden Fiber Co., The Sandlot. So this is from the movie The Sandlot, a baseball movie. So I started this on opening day. It was such a fun day. It was 2 days after my dad's birthday. He turned 70 this year, so we had to celebrate, of course. He came over and we cooked hot dogs, and I made a key lime cheesecake, and we watched the game. So it was super fun. And I did have a few minutes while he and Will were playing chess between lunch and the game starting, which didn't start until 3 o'clock, to start the Sandlot. So I got in the famous saying from the movie, "You're killing me, Smalls." And I did decide to change the fabric on this. So the fabric that came in the kit was very mottled, and I just thought it was kind of fighting with this yellow at the top. So I am using the Call for Flosses that came in the kit from Forbidden Fiber Co., but I switched the fabric to 32 count color and cotton cottage stone. This is linen. And 2 over 2 again. And again, I got to a stopping point and I felt good about, you know, putting this away until I'm ready to stitch on it again. Lots of baseball games this season, so it'll get finished. I'm not in a super hurry to finish it, just it'll get done. That feels kind of nice sometimes. Okay, so the last start, but this is the 8th one if you haven't been counting. I think I did already tell you at the beginning that I had started 8 projects this month. This was another somewhat squirrel moment. So an unplanned start. But at the Tinsmith's Wife, Brooke and I both saw this. I may pop in a picture of this too so you can see it even better. But this is Riverdrift House by Riverdrift Needlework, published by Creative Poppy. I noticed their little sticker is on there. But I love this sampler. I was digging through the patterns and I picked this up and I started commenting. I was like, oh, I just love the colors. It's so springy and fresh and kind of unusual color palette for a sampler. And then I saw this big old honker of a house and I was like, I need to stitch that. And then I saw the deer below it and that just sealed the deal. And I was like, okay, add to cart. And as we were in the shop, looking through all the things and sharing with each other what we had found, Brooke was like, yeah, I have to stitch that too. So sorry, Brooke. I enabled you to stitch a beautiful sampler with me. I'm really not sorry. It's going to be so fun. So I came home and I put off starting it for a few days, but on the last day of the month, I started it. So I think it was over the weekend. Michelle's husband was out of town, so she was like, hey, let's get together and stitch. And one day she called me and said, hey, do you want to meet up over at Michael's and get some floss? So I took this with me and kitted it up, and I haven't cut this fabric. This is real life, you guys. This is how we roll sometimes. I had bought a huge piece. I think I got a whole yard cut of this bramble linen from Pictures Plus. So I've used it many times and I love this fabric because it's just such a really great neutral. But this is 32 count linen and I thought it was perfect for this project because even though what's called for is white, this to me has in the picture to me it looked gray, and so this kind of has a great like mix of those vibes. Plus it has these green like undertones, which to me just looked like the floss color that was in it. So let me show the flosses because they still look neat, and I got them all floss dropped. So I pulled all of the DMCs for this. Those are the called for flosses. So such a fun color palette. Like I said, all the bright colors. Look at this green and the bright yellow. I just loved it. So I lit up when it came to this. Did, like I said, pull all the called fors, and then look, there's still a needle in it. I was literally like mid-stitch the other night and I was like, girl, you've got to go to bed. But I started on that beautiful border and I love it so much. Love it so much. And again, it's a marathon and not a sprint. She'll probably be with me for a while, and that's okay. Okay. Now for my wraps and the whips that I stitched on that I said I've committed to stitching 2 days a month on these, and I'm still liking that plan very much. So it's working to help me get these things picked up and put some stitches on them. So actually today is the 1st again, so I will be stitching on Pandemic again later today. I've been starting my morning with my Lent Stitch, so when I do my devotional, then I put in the stitches on the Lent Stitch. throwing floss tags, not floss tags, fabric tags. So this is Pandemic. I should pop in a picture of the chart from Long Dog Samplers, and many of you are probably familiar with this. It's a beast of a project. I'm stitching it on a mystery 20 count Aida fabric that's over dyed and just gorgeous. I love, love, love it. When I saw this fabric, I was like sold. Okay, I'm using DMC number 29, which is this pretty eggplant purple. And guess what? I completed a page finish. So the first page is all completely stitched. And of course, I had kept going across, I guess this is page 2. I'm not even sure. But this, I've got, what, 19 more pages to go? So yeah, this will be with me for a while too. But this is my quote-unquote leap day start. And I am trying to finish this before the next leap day. So we'll see. Baby steps, right? A page is finished though. That felt so good. So that was kind of the point I got to and stopped. But like I said, I'm going to be stitching on this again later today. So that's my first and 29th project. Okay, so I was just going to show this one next. This is, I'll pop in a picture of the book. This is Hello Halloween from Teresa Kogut. It is the large sampler. I think it's just called Halloween Sampler. I'm stitching it on 20 count, properly primitive Aida by Under the Sea Fabrics. And again, when I saw this fabric, I was like, oh, I went back and got the book because I loved the fabric so much. And I'm using all the Call for Flosses. It's a mix of DMCs and Week Styleworks. The black is, again, this is Onyx, so it's not black coffee, but shh, don't tell anyone. I guess I just told you. So let's see. I stitched the cat and put all of her accessories in, the second cat. I put in some stars. I'm not sure exactly which ones. And then I did stitch the 2 bottom quarter border pumpkins. So this little cutie patooties got put in yesterday on the 31st. So I took Dad to his eye doctor's appointment, so I was stitching on it there. So, oh, it's coming along. I haven't like mapped out far enough to see if I'll be able to finish it by October, but maybe when we get to fall, I'll just put this in a more heavier rotation. But for now, I'm just going to keep stitching on it 2 days a month because it's getting progress, and that makes me happy. So the other big old project that I'm stitching on is, oh my goodness, where are my words? This is the Farms of Hawk Run Hollow. I think I've been saying at for months and months and months. This is a Carriage House Samplings pattern, and I am stitching it on 32 count linen. And it's a beast, so it's a big old piece of fabric. This is 32 count Latte by Fiber on a Whim. I'm stitching it 2/2 with the Call for DMCs. And last month I finished all the borders, and this month I really kind of just concentrated on the Saturday dance square, which is the one with the cute little barn. I got those 2 little people in. And I think I put in some of the outline of the barn itself. Let's see if I can get zoomed in a little bit more. There we go. So it's coming along. Oh no. We've had lots of spiders.
Sorry, spider. We get to live off whatever we throw in the disgusting stinky trash can.
Did you mush it or you just threw it in the trash?
I mushed it.
Okay. Okay, so now for some sewing projects. As I mentioned, my friends Michelle and Brooke and another larger group of friends met up at the Best Little Retreat Center in Texas. And that was for a sew day. We've been doing that about once a month, and it's been so productive and fun. So what are friends for but to enable you to start another quilt project? Again, not sorry about it in the least. We are going to be stitching al fresco, not stitching, sewing. It's hard to get away from that language. We're going to be sewing al fresco. This is from Sherry and Chelsea. I'm popping in a picture of the pattern because I don't know what I did with it. It's somewhere buried probably in fabric. And I am going to be stitching this with the Sherry and Chelsea fabric line called Seashore Drive. I think we actually all three ended up using this. I had this layer cake set aside. This was given to me by Cynthia. Such a sweet lady. She gave me a whole bunch of quilting stash, and I had set it aside for another layer cake stars pattern, but when everyone else was gonna use Seashore Drive for al fresco, I had to switch to that. So I've popped in a picture of the fabric and the pattern, and then I got one block completed. I am crazy proud of this because I made flying geese. Oh yes, I did, and I used Brooke's shortcut method. And for my ground, I'm using a Moto Grunge. I'm not sure exactly what that color is, but I think it's creamy. I just love the way this is turning out. It's going to be adorable. Absolutely adorable. So I actually didn't make the block with them, but I came home the day after and I got it knocked out. Sometimes I feel like, well, I'll tell you what I was working on. It's not like I wasn't doing anything. So remember, I started Flirty, the quilt pattern from Prairie Grass Patterns, and I'm doing the dark version, the dark gray. And so I had shown you a few of the blocks, but I finished all of the blocks for this quilt. So I'm probably not going to go through every single one of these. Some of them are the same fabric over and over. Maybe I will. Do you guys want to see all of them? I mean, I guess if you don't, you can just fast forward, right? Otherwise. So I haven't laid this out yet, but I did finish all the blocks. It's a fun little cross pattern, and I used the, I'll pop in a picture of the fabric. This is Slow Stroll, which was from Fancy That. Sorry, it's too much information. Slow Stroll from Fancy That Design House. This was also a jelly roll given to me by Cynthia, and it's beautiful. I'm obsessed with Fancy That. I love all of their, like everything that they do, I think is so beautiful. So this little cross pattern, and I'm using this dark, sort of deep teal grunge, again from Moda. But I got all of the squares, all of the blocks put together. I'm gonna get this, girls. And I just love the colors in this, and the fabrics are so pretty. So there were 90 blocks. Did I say that? I did the math. There were 90 blocks. Some of these there are 2 or 3. But I'm just going to show you one of each fabric combination. I love these little acorns. I'm trying to decide how I want to lay this out. I'm debating between laying it out like it is in the picture, where they're just kind of random, or I was inspired on Instagram, as I usually am, by this other layout. I don't know if this is the same pattern. Not even sure anymore, but at any rate, the ombre sort of effect here. I think this might be Slow Stroll too. you guys are going to be yelling at me. But when I have to pop in a picture, I'm not looking at the picture at this instant, so I will edit if needed. So the reds and then the oranges. This would be a good like rainbow effect, right? I think I'm showing these to you sideways, but it doesn't really matter. Since it's symmetrical. I was trying to think about what was my favorite block or color combination or fabric, but really I just love all of these. Absolutely love them all. That floral is so pretty. And this one is just kind of modern a little bit. Another beautiful floral. I probably made about, I don't know, 50% of these at least over at the Best Little Retreat Center. I was a little machine. Most of the cutting was already done, so actually I finished the cutting while I was there, and then I just got to sewing. And then in the days after I came back, I finished them up. So this is what had me distracted instead of doing my alfresco block, but oh, I love this one. And the truth is I love them all. See, this is really supposed to go this direction, so I am showing them to you sideways. Let me rotate the pile. Like I said, on most of them, they're not directional, so it really doesn't matter. I think maybe it was just this one. It probably really doesn't matter, does it? Some of these got a little bit wrinkled. Sorry about that. So the thing about ironing with quilting, you iron and then you iron again and then you iron again is what I'm learning. And sometimes you cut and then you cut again. Oh, that's so cute. Just love these acorns again, all the colorways of that pattern. Should have created a slideshow for this. My arms are getting tired. We're actually almost to the end. We're now to the lights, the lighter colorways. These were the last ones that I put together. The acorns. There's actually 4 of these blocks. Yep, that's it. Now we're down to the solids. So I'm looking forward to getting that put together. Not sure that's gonna happen this month or not. Okay, let me show you one more thing really quickly. I'll pop in a picture. So I did finish the binding on the quilt that I made for my husband, which was the Farmhouse Flannels 3 plaids from Moda. Really love working with the flannel fabric. My husband loves the quilt. It's a favorite. It's on the couch right now. Everyone loves it. The dogs, he and the dogs, and Will. So, okay, I have fuzz everywhere now. Officially everywhere. Okay. Let me check my notes. Yes, I made all of that. So now we're going to talk about haul. I received a package in the mail at some point during the month. Actually, 2 packages. So I'm going to pop in a quick video of those items because I decided to open them and make a video the day that I got them. Hey friends, I'm gonna try something new with the haul. I had said one time before, a long time ago, that I was gonna open haul as I got it and record a quick little video of like an opening or an unboxing, and some haul came, so I thought we would try it. I have a package here from Stitch Supply Co. It's kind of more fun to open it together, and then guess what? I can start using it. Ooh, I've never ordered anything from them before. This is super cute. It came in this little pouch that has their logo on it, Stitch Supply Co. And I will link their shop below, as always, like in the show notes. So this is mostly gonna be sewing haul. I think I just ordered some fat quarters. Oh, here's a little postcard that shows you how to follow them. So it has their link to their website, Instagram, and Facebook. And again, I will drop a note below about that. How nice. It also came with a card that shows you like quilt sizes. So it shows you the size for a twin, a double, a queen, a king, and a California king. Maybe one of these days. There's also a super fun, colorful mailer for zippers and webbing from Ruby Star, which are all so colorful and beautiful. I think most of these are all Ruby Star fabrics. I kind of got a little bit obsessed with these. And so I ordered some fat quarters. I'm going to make a fun project bag. And so the project bag pattern called for just fat quarters. So I just ordered some funky fun things. So there are these stars. This one is called Starry. Hopefully the color is showing up good today too, because I didn't actually set up my ring light. I was just trying to make a quick video. This is Carousels in Carousels in Galaxy. So that's from their newest line, I believe. I thought this was so cute. These birds. This one is called Bird is the Word. Migration in Soft Black. And then I have been loving these teddy bears. This line is called Teddy and the Bears. This is colorway Oyster, which is the pretty gray. I'll show this one too, because I got it as well in Thunder, which is a really pretty deep teal. And I loved the pops of like the neon colors in the ears, the hot pink. I don't know if you noticed that before. Oops, they're upside down. We can't have the bears upside down. So fun. Also got this Starry in Vivid Pink. Ooh, it's so fun. I had to have these goats. Oh my word, they're so cute. Look at them. This is Animal Baby Goats in Vintage Blue. So the line, I think, is Animal. And last but not least, these adorable strawberries. This is from Picture Book, Strawberry Toss in Citron. So I love this like really bright yellowy green. So stay tuned for some bags. Maybe by the time I record my next video, I'll have worked on those. We'll see. Okay, I was about to open it without showing you. Another giant package came in the mail from 123 Stitch. So we'll open it together as well. And part of the reason why it's so big, and it's not really that interesting, but one of the things that I needed for the bag pattern that I'm gonna be making is this Pelon interfacing. I was gonna look and see if it said on the packing slip what it was. 72F Peltex 2 two-sided fusible ultra firm stabilizer. So I ordered a yard of this stuff, which should be enough to get a couple bags. And then this has been calling my name. Oh no. It seems like the sticker got stuck to the pattern. I don't really think that was supposed to happen. Oh, but I got it off. Okay. They're always so good about putting these in cardboard and everything when you order from 123 Stitch. So I ordered this pattern from Barbara Anna Designs. What is this called? Love Never Fails. And this was the verse that was read at my wedding. So remember how I was talking about an anniversary start and I had the Silver Creek piece out? I might do this one instead. Kind of feeling this. I don't know. I've always loved it. I think it's really fun. Has a totally different vibe. And I thought, maybe it's deep down in the bag. Hold on. I thought I ordered all of the DMC floss for that. And I did. Look, here's the floss. So they're really pretty colors. Although I did not order the black because I want to, of course, use black coffee for the black instead of whatever that called for was. And then this also fell into the cart because why not? Love this pattern from October House Faded Flag. Okay, so that was a fun little haul video. Hope you enjoyed it. So I must have left my bag of goodies at Michelle's house when I went over this weekend. So I'm going to pop in a little slideshow of the patterns that I picked up at this Tinsmith's Wife. A lot of them were goodies from the Artsy Housewife and other just treasures that I found and I couldn't leave behind. So here are the patterns. I also picked up a couple of pieces of fabric, one of which I already showed you because it was the Opal. Gosh, I'm just really puzzled about where I put that bag, but it's probably at Michelle's. At any rate, the other thing that we did was we went to a couple of quilt shops on the way back. One was called the Country Quilt Shop in Monaco, and then we also went to Buckaroo Blanket over on the square, and they were both really great quilt shops, chock full of goodies. I was trying to be good, so I was trying to stay on track. Because I put my Seashore Drive quilt into the alfresco pattern, I did allow myself to buy another layer cake for Layer Cake Stars, which is this beauty, and I'll pop in a picture of it too so you can see all of it, but it is called Maeve Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful, and it's by Crystal Manning, and it is just gorgeous. I love all the colors. Got beautiful bright hot pinks, purples, of course black. So it was perfect. So just quickly, I picked up one of the Blue Bonnet fat quarters. They have so many beautiful, of course in the hill country, all of the wildflower fabrics, just tons of them, but I couldn't leave this one behind. And then Michelle and I had picked up the Bee Garden Charm Pack. And again, I'll pop in a picture of that so you can see like all of the fabrics, but we picked up a couple of fat quarters to go with that to make a project bag. I didn't quite get to that, but it'll happen. And then they had some of this Lori Holt, I guess you call it cheater fabric with the Dresden. And I just loved it. And I got some grunge to go with it. I really liked this, the deepest teal in that fabric. So, okay, the other thing for haul, quickly, I got a Black Needle Society subscription. So this is the March box. The theme for the box is rainy day stitching. Rainy day stitching, and it's got all kinds of goodies in here. The spoiler card tells you all about it. So if you haven't gotten your box and you don't want to know what's inside, close your eyes. If you are curious, because you've never gotten one of these, I did have to get on a wait list to get in the club, but it came with a piece of fabric. It's a beautiful kind of minty green. Let me see if I can find who the fabric is by. Cloud Burst cross stitch fabric. It's dyed by Forbidden Fiber Co. And let's see. It also came with some tea, After the Rain tea blend, and I haven't gotten into these yet because I wanted to show them to you. It came with a coffee or tea mug that's adorable. It says, "Rain, rain, go away, come again another day." And I don't have all these organized. Sorry, I just popped this out. It came with a tea infuser that looks like a little umbrella. It's so cute. As well as some beautiful floss. And this floss is hand dyed by Rwanda. Really pretty variegated floss. So all colors of the rainbow in that, on that soft pale pink. Okay, so there's also this really adorable needle minder with the rain boots on it that says "Make a Splash," and a floss ring with bling, which is so cute. It's like a cute little shop over the rainbow stitchery is what it says. Sorry, it's so shiny that may be hard to see, but maybe I'll pop in a picture too of what was all the contents of the box, because they actually posted an email this morning and said that there were a few boxes left over. So if you're interested in this, run. And the last thing that was in the box was this yummy candle called Rainy Day Stitching. And it smells so good. So I'm excited to burn that. Lastly, let's just talk quickly about plans for April. It is April, so I'm going to continue working on those big projects 2 days a month. And then I do have a big trip planned. So I am going to be going to Africa and London on the way. So toward the end of April and into May. So our May video will be delayed. I'll let you know that now. If I can do a check-in before the trip, I will try. I know last month I also said I'll try to do a check-in, but I was having so much fun on spring break that the week poofed and I had other things to do. So I just didn't make time to do a video. If I can make time, and I can't make big promises because you know how it is going out of town and getting ready for a big trip like that. So we'll see. We'll see if it happens. And if not, I promise I will see you in mid-May, okay? And I'll tell you all about all of the things. So while we're in Africa, I am going to stitch an Africa piece, and I'll probably start this. I am nervous to take a whole lot, just trying to be practical and not have too much to carry and travel, and knowing that it could be difficult to see at times for stitching. So I'll probably just take like one main project, and I'm thinking about maybe the Satterthwaite Quaker, just because it's so simple and it's one color of floss. And so I think I'm probably going to take that. I know Easter is coming up, so I'll probably choose one of the projects that I showed in the previous spring projects kit parade video that I did and start one of those on Easter. And I definitely know that I want to put in some time on the spring whips that I had carried over from last year because I haven't touched those yet. So Dorothy's Discovery and Brown Swiss Dairy and Oh Joyous Day. So I'll put some time in on those. And other than that, I'm probably not going to make too many more plans just because of the big trip coming up. So As far as the Lent Stitch goes, I'm going to keep stitching on that up until Easter. So we'll see how far I get on Peacemaker. I'm excited to see her come to life some more, and then I'll make a decision after that whether I keep going with that project or if I put it away until next Lent or what I'm going to do. Not sure yet. Ooh, a little segment quickly on what I've been reading this month, because I actually have been reading. So I finished up Wicked. I think I told you last time that I was reading the book, the digital copy on my phone, as well as listening to the audiobook, and I really liked that. It was fun because I could jump back and forth depending on what I was in the mood for or if I was in my car. And I loved the way the book, of course, ended. I'm excited to see the sequel part of the movie now. So that was fun. I also decided to, this came from actually, I think it was a Pinterest. I'm going to drop in a picture of this. A Pinterest recommendation. It was kind of like one of these, if you like this, then you might like this recommendation for books. So I came across World of Wonders, and it was available. The digital copy was available through Libby, so through my local library. If you don't have the Libby app, you need the Libby app if you are a reader, because it's so convenient. You can just go through and check out books for free, and it's awesome. There's just a lot available. You can, search by like what's readily available versus you can make a wish list. And I actually have a lot of things queued up that have a wait. So I actually got notification that another book is available. But let's talk about World of Wonders really quick. World of Wonders was really an interesting book. It was fun and lighthearted and an easy read. I finished it quickly and I really enjoyed it. I could just read a chapter at a time, and they were short little chapters. The book was it's written by a poet. So it was kind of an unusual style of writing, but I enjoyed it. In each chapter, she focused on an animal and then told kind of a little bit of a memoir of her life. And it was fun because she's apparently about the same age as me, because all the things she mentioned from her childhood, I was like, yep, remember that, remember that. So there were some life lessons in there as well. She kind of highlighted just the way that, she was treated as someone who is brown skinned and not American, especially growing up here in the United States. And so I really enjoyed it, and the little tidbits about the animals were especially fun. So you should try it out. The next book that came up in my queue was The Midnight Library, and I'm actually still reading this one. Again, it came up as a digital copy, so I'm just reading it on my phone. It's been an interesting book. Again, it's not too long. I'm about a third of the way through it. And it's about a girl who basically gets to see what would happen if she chose if she made different choices throughout her life. So like one of them was like she had broken up with this guy, and she got to see what it would be like if she had gone through with that, and like if they were happy, and it's been fun. So The Midnight Library is by Matt Haig. I don't think I said that. I also don't think I told you who the author was on World of Wonders, but off the top of my head, I don't remember, but I will make sure and put it in the notes for you. So all the things are in the notes, and I think I covered all of the things. If you want to stitch along with me on anything that I showed, or if you are stitching it, I'd love to know. If you want to tag me on Instagram, you can tag Black Coffee and Grits SAL. So hashtag Black Coffee and Grits with an S, and then Sal SAL. Also, if you're looking for me on Instagram, I am at Black Coffee and Grits. And there's all the ways to reach me if you want to email me down in the show notes. So check those out. And like I said, leave me a comment. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you soon. Happy stitching!